It's time for Buffalo's best sports podcast. Here are your hosts.
And hello, welcome back to the 716 Sports Podcast, live from our exciting new digs. Justin recently completed a very exciting and strenuous move to this lovely basement studio here on the outskirts of Tonawanda, New York, where we are here live for you this evening with questions. But before we get into that, let's go around and introduce our little skeleton crew here for this evening. I'm Jeff.
I'm Justin.
I'm Mike.
I'm Bill.
And before we get too into our teams here, Bill, I believe you have some thoughts you would like to share with the class about the Bills and Fred Jackson.
Real quick, Fred Jackson. Okay, so I've had some issues here with some running backs. Carlos Williams suspended for the first 4 games of the season. And is it Jonathan Smith? No, Jonathan Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Smith. It's a very generic name. Young man from Arkansas. Got a Dewey. And I think it's safe to assume probably going to miss the first game season.
Odds are good.
Is anybody really too upset about that? So there has been this siren call this past week, especially that seemed to really bubble up on Sunday and Monday on the internet. Perhaps you've heard of Twitter.
I dabble.
Microblogging site. And perhaps you heard of Facebook. It's like your yearbook come to life.
It's a cool concept.
I think it's great. I believe it started at Harvard. But anyway, a lot of people, and I can't figure out if they're just trying to fuck with me or not. But they're talking about Fred Jackson coming back. Fred Jackson's 34 this year?
Sounds about right. I think he's about my age.
We need to get over the Fred Jackson thing. People are talking about how majestic it would be to have Fred lead the charge week 2 on the Thursday night game against the Jets. But they're not talking about it as him as a retired player who's going to get his name on the circle. They're talking about him being like an active player and running out on the field. And it is so adorable when we get nostalgic about things before they're even, before they're even old at this point. It's really remarkable. Fred Jackson is so broken down and beaten that he couldn't stick with the Seattle Seahawks this past season. If you are really into nostalgic, 2-yard runs into the line, by all means, then maybe he would be the guy that we should possibly think about. But let me tell you this. If the Bills sign Fred Jackson and it's for anything more than a 1-day contract so he can retire as a Buffalo Bill, I'm just already done with the season because it is so ridiculous.
So a 4-week contract would be too long for you?
Yes. I don't want him. Do the Bills have a farm team that they could retire him to? Like a AAA team in Elmira or something?
Let him get some good long innings.
I don't know how
there.
the NFL works. Yeah. Here's what we're going to tell everybody. So listen up, everybody that's a Fred Jackson fan. Fred had to go to a farm, and it was a tough decision. But he's running free. He's running 3 yards and falling down.
We send him where there's no linebackers.
Beautiful
left.
open field. There's other players out there that your Peerless Price is out there. I think
Josh Reed,
Bryce Pop is out there. Bryce Pop almost needs to be put down, Old Yeller style, but he's out there still. And occasionally Jim Kelly comes, puts a quarter in the machine, gets a little feed out, and throws it to all the retired players. But that's where Fred Jackson is now, okay? He's on a farm in Elmira. And he's not coming back to the Buffalo Bills. So for the love of God, stop talking about it in any serious tone, because I'm tired of it.
Yeah. Say what you will about Fred Jackson. He has more working ankles than Reggie Bush.
I don't want to talk about either one of those.
And that's completely fair.
Whatever. Just shady. Don't ever let him run it. If you got to run 30 screen passes to him week 1, whatever. I don't want Boom Herron back either. I don't know what they're going to do, but I know what I do want them to do, and it's not sign Fred Jackson. I think I may actually be more into Reggie Bush than Fred Jackson at this point.
Well, if you love screen passes, you're going to love Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush, master. Maybe we can get Lendale White. He hasn't done much recently.
That's true.
He may be 320 pounds at this point. But
Lendale White is the Jared Lorenzen of available running backs. at
Oh,
this
that
point. He's
06
just ballooned.
whenever that 06 Roseville comes on, it's just like, look at all the talent and that nothing works. Nothing.
Well, it's the true story of any running back who's gone to the Tennessee Titans. It's just, let's just get all this potential talent and then watch it all just slowly evaporate in the hot Memphis sun.
Well, as a Marcus Mariota dynasty guy, how can you go wrong with a Mike Mularkey-led offense? But I digress. We're talking hockey.
Thank you for listening to the 716 Sports Podcast. If there is a world's greatest podcast, this was probably it. Thank you to our sponsors, Lockhouse Distillery and Big Ditch Brewing Company. Tune in next week where I'm sure we'll continue to be the world's greatest podcast. Go Sabres! Go Bills! Go 716!